Namaste, good morning, and welcome to your Memorial Day practice. So just as a reminder to all of us, Memorial Day is a day to pay tribute to those who served and died in the military. So we'll carry a sense of appreciation and reverence with us perhaps through this day. All right, please begin in a comfortable seat. Arriving, we will sit tall, drawing our hands together in front of our heart, gently pressing the palms and the fingers into each other. Allow the shoulders to melt down the back. Allow the very base of your spine to melt into the blanket or mat. You might softly close your eyes here, taking a moment to notice your connection to that very base of your spine. And if it's helpful, you can imagine a deep red root growing from your spine, slowly breaking the surface of the earth as it anchors down, connecting you to the inner core, anchoring, deep sense of connection. With that connection to the earth, we can also be reminded of our connection to everything as we inhale and exhale, sharing our breath, sharing energy, sharing pranic life force with all that is around us, seen and unseen. Adding our vibration to the invisible vibrations all around us, we'll chant one long Om, inhaling. Place your hands on your knees. Sit tall, eyes stay softly closed if it's comfortable. Transition into Ujjayi Pranayam. It's the ocean sounding breath where we gently constrict the back of our throat. If you ever need to ease into practicing Ujjayi or ocean breath, I like to practice opening my mouth and sighing out like I'm fogging a window. And eventually practicing the ocean sounding breath with your mouth closed, keeping the gentle constriction on the throat for the inhale and the exhale. Listen to the sounds that you're able to produce with this breath control. Hopefully, it's a soothing, calming experience and sound. Perhaps the next time we find ourselves feeling a little anxious or stressed out, maybe we can remember that this is a tool in our toolbox and know that we can return to our breath anytime on or off the mat. If you're comfortable, you can stay exactly as you are. Or perhaps you join me coming to lie on your spine for a moment. As you make your way onto your back, at first, feet stay planted. Open your arms out like a T and let your legs fall off to the left side. And then come back up through center and fall off to the right side. Legs like windshield wipers. Just let your body move in a way that feels good to you. And you might notice how you're able to give yourself here a low back, a hip, and gluteal massage as your legs shift side to side. The bottom hip gets some pressure. You can keep moving your legs side to side like this if it feels good, or come back to center. Extend your left leg long. Plant your right foot on top of your left thigh. Inhale here. Exhale, let your right leg drop off to the left side. Your right arm might move up overhead. Maybe your left hand comes to the top of your right leg. Situating yourself in a spinal twist that feels good. Here you might explore taking your right hip, your top hip, away from your head, guiding it more towards your left foot. One more breath with our long torso, long spine. And as you exhale, return back through neutral. Extend your right leg long. Left foot plants on top of your right thigh. Inhale and exhale. Let your left leg drop off to the right side. Here you can bring your right hand to the left leg. Maybe float your left hand up overhead. Working yourself into a really soothing spinal twist. You can imagine that we're wringing out the spine, wringing out our organs, noticing some constriction in our breath as we do have pressure on the torso. Return both feet planted to the mat. Kick your feet up to the sky. Come into happy baby. Maybe early in the practice you cannot reach the outer edges of your feet and you just hug the thighs, flexing your feet and ankles. You can rock side to side. Maybe as you settle in, you find that you're able to reach higher up your legs or lower down your legs. Depends on perspective, right? Another breath or two. Pause for a moment of stillness in Ananda Balasana, happy baby. Hug your legs in, Apanasana. Knees can be together or spread wide. And then we'll make our way into seated. So you might roll onto one side, or maybe you tuck your chin to your chest and roll up your spine. As you arrive in seated, hands on knees, flex your spine, drawing your heart forward, shoulder blades together. Exhale, chin to chest, round your spine back. Move at your own pace about 5 times. And return to neutral. Bring the soles of your feet together. Maybe you grab your blocks here for under your thighs. Baddha Konasana, sometimes tailor's pose. And maybe you shift your feet, exploring how it feels to bring your feet in closer to your pelvis, or maybe walk them farther out. Sit really tall. And you can choose to bring your hands back behind you and open up through your heart if that feels good. Maybe you choose to walk your hands forward, folding down. You can also flow between the two options. We'll say about 5 or 6 more slow breaths to explore Baddha Konasana, finding movement or stillness. Notice if there's anywhere you're holding, or perhaps you could let go, softening your jaw. Noticing if you're clenching in the muscles of your hands, trying to let go. With an inhale, come to sit tall. Swing your legs around. We'll make our way into tabletop. You might use the blanket under your knees here. In tabletop, we'll start moving through cow and cat. Right on time, Toby. Move with your breath, noticing how your body feels after the weekend. This is a very familiar posture at this time, so let's see if we can bring the mind of a beginner to it. Notice your hands meeting the mat. If your hands were a heat map, where would they be red? Where's the most pressure in your hands? Can we try and disperse that pressure more evenly through the hands? Maybe even sending the majority into our fingertips, especially the root of the index finger and thumb with the fingertips. Can you make the heel of the hands as light as possible? Rest in tabletop for a moment, looking straight down. You can even imagine drawing the center of your throat up towards the sky. Core gently engaged, flat back here. You can stay just as you are or tuck your left toes and slowly push your toes back on the mat. Press back through the heel as your leg extends long. Engage your abdominal muscles. Stay here or lift the left heel towards the sky. Just a little bit of internal rotation of your thigh and the hip so the toes point slightly over towards the right. Foot still flexed. Stay here or stretch your right fingertips long. Noticing all of the subtleties, your body is making all these little adjustments to keep you in balance here. Can you keep engaging your abdominal muscles, pressing the foot away from the fingertips? One more breath. As you exhale, round your spine, draw everything into the midline. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale to the midline. Inhale, re-extend. Option to bend your left knee, heel towards hips, right fingertips float back. Maybe you catch your left ankle. If so, kick your foot into your hand while you lift your heart, arcing your back. And exhale, slowly set your knee down and hand down. Return to tabletop, tuck your right toes, press your right foot back in space, push back through your heel. Nice stretch on your right calf muscles. Stay here, pushing the ground away. Engage your abdominal muscles. Maybe you lift your right heel. Again, a little internal rotation of the thigh, like the inner right thigh is spiraling up towards the sky. The toes tilt a little towards the left while the foot stays flexed. Push the ground away. Maybe your left fingertips float up and reach in the distance. Breathe here, core engaged. We're not sinking into our right shoulder, so make sure we're still pushing the earth away. When you come to your next exhale, maybe you round your spine, drawing everything in towards the midline. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, midline. Inhale, re-extend. Bend your right knee, left arm floats back. Maybe hand and foot connect. If so, kick the foot into the hand while you peel your heart open. And with an exhale, set your right knee down, left hand down. Tuck your toes. Inhale and exhale your hips high, downward facing dog. Settle in here, taking any movement that feels good to you. From downward facing dog, inhale deeply. Exhale, drop your knees, feet lift off the mat, sink your hips, hanging cobra. Inhaling and hanging cobra. Exhale, toes come back to the mat. We return to downward facing dog. On an inhale, knees drop, hips sink, hanging cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale through hanging cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, and exhale, step your way to the top of the mat. Uttanasana. On an inhale, lift up halfway, hang heavy. Exhale to fold. Inhale, root down as you rise all the way up, arms out and up. And exhale your hands to your heart. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, hinge forward, hands touch down. Maybe you grab your blocks as you float your right foot way back in space. Stay in runner's lunge. Inhale, lengthen your heart forward. Exhale, stay here, press back through your right heel. Notice the front of your right hip opening up. Feel all those little connective tissues and fibers stretching. Prepare to plant your hands. Inhale deeply. Exhale, step back to plank. You can be on your blocks or the mat. Push the ground away. Core engaged. Tailbone anchored down. Heels pressing back just like you're standing in mountain pose. Another inhale here. Exhale, lower your knees, hanging cobra. Inhale there. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step your right foot to the top of the mat. Runner's lunge here. Inhale to draw your heart forward. Long line of energy from the sole of your left foot to the top of your head. Breathe deeply. Another inhale to look forward. Exhale to step forward. Hang heavy here. On an inhale, we'll rise all the way up, arms out and up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, hinge forward, hands touch down, left foot steps way back in space. Inhale, rise up, Anjaneyasana. Stay here or exhale, swing your hands back, folding your torso forward, Dekasana. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, rise up. Exhale your hands down, step yourself back to plank pose, inhaling and exhaling. Feel your strength here. Push the ground away while we breathe. One more inhale. Exhale right into downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step or swing that left foot to the top of the mat. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, option to hinge forward, Dekasana. Inhale to rise. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands lower down. Inhale here. Exhale, giant step forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Turn to face the wide edge of your mat. You can bring blocks with you for under your hands. Feet are parallel, really anchor into the pinky side edges of your feet. Hands on your hips. Press your thumbs into the back of your hips, anchoring your tailbone, lifting your crown. Inhale here and exhale, hinge forward from the waist, from the hips. Hands lower down to blocks or mat. Settle yourself in for a comfortable wide leg forward fold. Notice what parts of your body are calling to you. And you can imagine sending your breath there. Another slow cycle of breath. With an inhale, hinge back up, all the way up, pressing into the pinky side edges of your feet. Reach your fingertips away from each other. Pivot on your right heel, so your right toes point forward. Bend into your right knee, transitioning into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Keep a strong connection to the pinky side edge of your back foot, your left foot. Glance down, be certain you can see your right big toe on the inside of the right knee. Shoulders stacked over hips, so maybe we have to lean back. Imagine someone's gently pulling your left fingertips back. One more breath here. Hands to hips, pivot your right heel on your right heel so your toes point forward again. Left toes point back in space, pivoting and shifting into Virabhadrasana 2 the other direction. Heel to arch alignment, fingertips reach away from each other. Gaze over your left fingertips. Feel the sensations of your connective tissue unwinding, creating length, releasing tension. Glancing down, we can see our left big toe on the inside of our left knee. We can still feel the connection of our right pinky toe, that whole edge of the foot connected to the mat. One more breath. Hands to hips, straighten your left leg, pivoting on the heel. Return to wide leg stance. Inhale and exhale, hinge forward, returning to wide leg forward fold. Maybe this time you try something different with the hands. You can bring your hands out to your ankles, being sure that our arches are lifted while we're pressing into the pinky side edges of our feet. We're not rolling in on our ankles. You might shift the weight forward in your tippy toes and then back in your heels and then forward again. There's always so many subtleties, so many things to notice and be aware of. Can you let your torso hang a little heavier out of your hips for the next breath? With an inhale, we'll slowly begin to rise up. Hands can return to hips to help guide you up. Heel toe your feet in until you end with your toes pointing out, heels coming in. Inhale for a long spine, lifting up, and exhale, squatting down, garland pose. Shift as you need to. No worries if your heels lift off the mat. Work with what you've got. You can even grab your blanket and slide that under your heels if helpful. You can also come to sit on your block here. Hands in front of your heart. See if you can roll your shoulders back and down, lifting your heart. Hands pressed together as your elbows help guide your thighs wide. Breathe here. What can you let go of here? Keeping the lips softly together. Maybe you can relax your jaw. While you notice your spine anchoring down, either connecting to the block or dropping towards the ground below you, you can also imagine your crown lifting up towards the sky, imagining spaciousness between the vertebrae. Two or three more breaths here. Breathe deeply, and slowly we'll begin to release this posture, dropping our hips to the mat, returning to lie on our spines. As you make your way all the way back down onto your spine, arms open out like a T once more. Option to do the same spinal twist we did at the beginning, extending your left leg long, placing your right foot on top of the left thigh, and then twisting. Or if you would like, you can keep your left leg bent, cross your right leg over, and let your legs fall off to the left. Wherever you go, see if you can release in the twist, softening and letting go of anywhere you're holding. Knowing that we really only let go on our exhales. So anytime you feel that you're holding, you can take a big breath in and a big breath out. Every breath is an opportunity to let go. As you're ready, we'll return through neutral, either crossing the left leg over the right leg or sending the right leg long, left foot to right thigh. Either way you go, the left leg will guide over to the right. Letting go as best we can, knowing that it is a practice. Stay with your breath. And as you're ready, extend both legs long, return yourself to neutral, melting into Shavasana. Breathe deeply as you arrive in Shavasana, a resting corpse posture. And on Memorial Day, I'll share this quote from Anna Quindlen, A Short Guide to a Happy Life. Anna says, realize that life is glorious and that you have no business taking it for granted. Care so deeply about its goodness that you want to spread it around. Realize that life is glorious and you have no business taking it for granted. Care so deeply about its goodness that you want to spread it around. Deepen your breath, knowing that you can linger in Shavasana for as long as you like. But we will meet in Sukhasana Easy Seat to close our 30-minute practice. So if you're ready, make your way back to a comfortable seated posture. Join your hands together in front of your heart. And we'll share one long round of Om. Big inhale. Thank you for sharing your practice.